Okay, so like I promised, this tutorial is something we can all do with a laptop and a text editor. What am I talking about? Closed captioning, people. We see it all over our videos on social media. We even use it while binge watching Cake Wars on lonely Sunday nights. Don't judge me. Anyway, like I said, we can all do it and we can all do it together. So grab your laptop or desktop, whatever floats your boat, because I'm Joe, and here's what I know about closed captioning. Okay, so I set up the video player and text editor like this on purpose because it fits right in my little frame here. You can set it up however you want. Now type the title WebVTT, W-E-B-V-T-T. Little side note here, don't bother putting any extras next to the title or below it. Other tutorials out there may tell you can add formatting here, and YouTube will always add their extras, but if you do, you may get a kickback from your client. Yeah, Target, I'm looking at you. Now hit return twice, and we can start our captions. Get used to the blank lines in between your captions. Each caption must be separated by, you guessed it, a blank line. So let's make this habitual. VTT uses the standard video time code with a minor variation. It looks like this: hours, minutes, seconds, period, and milliseconds. Usually it's all colons. So I hit play on my video. Hi. I see about half a second, I say hi, and it runs to about a second and a half. It's shorter than that, but I like to keep captions on display for at least a second if I can, especially short ones like this. So how do we type this out? Start with your timing. I start when the words come out of my mouth. I think we said half a second. So then we type 00:00:00, 00:00, period, and 500. That's half a second. Hit space and pop in these special characters right here called a 2-hashed arrow followed by another space. The 2-hashed arrow is super common in most caption files and a requirement for the two I'm showing you right now. Finally, we simply just place in the timing for when the words stopped coming out of my mouth. I think that was at 1.5 seconds. So we type 00:00:01, period, and 500. Now we just type in the words that I said, which I think was hi. Remember, we always have to put the time in and out of each caption before we type in the actual caption. That's the gist of it. Now we'll hit return and then hit it one more time for the blank space that I told you about above and start our next caption. Rather than type this whole thing out, I'm just gonna copy and paste this caption we just made a couple of times so I can have a sort of template ready. You might want to do this at the start of any caption file you might create in the future. It helps to save some time. So let's see, where do I start to talk here? It looks like I start right after saying hi and goes to about 5 seconds. So instead of typing this whole thing out, now that I have pasted these little templates in, I'm just going to replace the seconds and milliseconds part of this caption I just pasted in. I'll replace the 0 here with a 1. I'll replace the 1 here with a 5. And finally just replace this 5 in the milliseconds area with a 0. Now, just type in the words that I said. I'm Joseph Brooks, Senior Graphic Designer. It looks like that might be too long for one whole caption. I'm going to drop it down to the second line because I don't want any words to fall off the screen. Usually, you don't want more than 4 or 5 words for each line. This all depends on the words, of course. One thing to notice, we didn't hit return twice. That's because we want these to populate in the same space rather than another caption. So now that we have done that, there are only 2 things you need to know before you move on to copying, pasting, and replacing. 1. You don't have to butt up your captions end to beginning like we did up above. No need to have a caption on display for 20 seconds while people wait for you to talk again. 2. Don't overlap timecodes. That means don't start your next timecode before the last timecode ended. Your captions will error out every time. Now, let's take a look at what we got. I've actually completed one here already, so you can see what I've done. Now, as you can see, I saved it a certain way. You can copy that if you like. It'll be important later. Save it to a new folder like this. Name the folder VTT and save the file in this folder. I usually put my folders on the desktop and then I move them later. So, SRT is easy. The reason I started with VTT is because of how similar the files are set up. In fact, I'm just going to open my VTT file from earlier and show you how to make the edits needed to turn this file into an SRT file. So once it's open, I'll just hit Save As and navigate to my desktop. This time, I'm going to create a new folder named SRT. I'll save this file right in here. You'll get why I'm doing this later. First, a few rules. Rule 1. There's not a title like WebVTT. You can just start captioning in an SRT file. So let's delete that. Rule 2. Each caption must be numbered starting with 1. So let's add those. And the third and final rule, the timecode only has one slight tiny difference. Instead of a period before milliseconds, you simply replace it with a comma. So let's replace those. Now, we just need to save the files. Up to this point, I've shown you the title I saved them as, but I haven't explained why. Also, by default, these are still TXT files or text files. The way you name them is really important. You must name it in a way that the system knows what language and country these captions come from. It also lets the caption system know the title of the video so it can latch onto it. Hopefully, you've already saved them like I briefly flashed a few minutes ago, but for the sake of learning file naming and saving it, it goes a little something like this. For Mac users, it's the title of your video or client's video, period, lowercase en, underscore, capital U, capital S. Hit save. Then go find your file. It should be in the VTT folder we made a minute ago. Right click on it to rename it. Add the extension .vtt, all lowercase. Now, do the same thing with the file in your SRT folder, only this time replace the extension with .srt instead of .vtt. For PC users, in Notepad, go to File, Save As, click on Save As Type, click on All Files, then type in the same thing, video title, period, en underscore capital U, capital S. You'll add the .vtt at this point and hit save. Now do the same thing with the file in your SRT folder, only this time replace the extension with, you guessed it, .srt instead of .vtt. So by this point, I'm sure you're thinking, there has to be an easier way. Why would anyone want to do it this way? There is. And sure, you're probably going to pull your hair out when I tell you. YouTube can actually auto-generate these files for you. I know, I'm cruel. You're probably thinking you just sat through this thing and wasted your time. But I assure you, I'm not in the business of wasting time. Here's why all of this is important. Not all clients have their videos on YouTube. Some videos are too long or there's some kind of proprietary information they don't want out there. Some clients just don't want to send you the video and they only want to send a website link. The list of reasons to know how to do this manually is pretty hefty. Bottom line, a lot of video out there still requires closed captioning. Plus, YouTube doesn't always get it right. It's either a bot listening to your words or it's community sourced. Either way, you still have to go in and edit. Hence, why you should know how to create and edit these files. One final reason to know how to do this manually, YouTube does not title your file correctly. It requires you to go in and edit the file after you save it to your downloads folder. So just in case, I placed the time codes to saving these guys in the description below. So here's a little knowledge nugget for you. If you're lucky enough to have the video file you want closed captioned, all you have to do is upload it to YouTube and wait a few minutes. It can take up to 24 hours for the captions to generate, but just be sure to set the language in the upload process for a quicker turnaround. After it uploads, just go to YouTube Studio. On the left column, scroll down to Subtitles. Now click on the blue link in your video. On the far right, you'll see the word Subtitles again. Below that, the word Published and 3 little dots. Click on the dots and click Open on Classic Studio. Above your captions, on the top left, you'll see a button that says Actions, and that's where you'll find the different file types to download. I usually download them all. You'll most likely have to edit these captions no matter what. If you do it in the YouTube editor, you'll have to publish the changes, exit, and then go back in after they've reset in order to download the files. It's your choice. There are a million ways to skin a cat, so to speak. So that said, I'll continue this video on captioning with a part 2. In the next caption video, I'll cover open captions for all you Instagram kiddos out there. I'll also cover a fantastic free web app called Shire that'll help you lay out your captions and save them into a bunch of different formats, even for TV. We'll also cover Handbrake, which is a free web app you'll need for open caption conversion. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be covering a wide range of topics on this show, so be sure to comment or hit me up if you have anything you'd like to see covered in the future. Next is a toss-up between Teams and the different type of microphones that you can use to help you sound like a boss. Again, thanks for watching the show. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below, ring that bell for notifications, email me at joe@joeknowsthings.com, find me on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Also find new content and blogs at joeknowsthings.com. I'm Joe, and that's what I know.